Last night's show was postponed due to a leaky roof. Tonight's show was at an amphitheater with a perfectly fine roof, but it was blown off by an epic run. Jake Rennick Simpson joining the band for the fourth time this year. It was good to be in KC tonight. I'll tell you that. And the D&B post-show stream starts now.
It's your boy Concert Viz 34 back at home.
What up, what up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34.
Yep, so your boy Concert Viz 34 coming to you here.
What up, what up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34. Aria. Okay, so this is Aria. And just tell us a little bit about yourself and about your love for the Dave Matthews Band.
I've been a fan of the band since April 28, 1998. And if you recognize the date, that's when Before These Crowded Streets was released.
Alpine is definitely a better venue than Summerfest, but we'll take it. I think I've been going to shows for about 20-something years.
I always tell people, like, compare DMB to now to when I first started. And I got started, in my opinion, I feel like I got started late. Like, I was at the very end of the band's prime. I feel like that 03 to 06 was like the end of the prime. 07, 08 was like, you know, we're at the very end. And then when Roy passed.
But Dave really, this is the thing. Dave has put, where Sean has been assigned the quarterback of this team. He is the coach, the play caller. He designs the jams. Dave just shows up and plays whatever he's going to play. Kansas City, what up? Shout out Kansas City, Kansas. Shout out Kansas City, Missouri. St. Joseph's, what up? Shout out Pastor Zahn up there in St. Joseph. Leavenworth, what up? Overland Park, what up? Lawrence, Kansas, what up? Jeff City, Missouri, what up? Shout out Topeka, Kansas. Manhattan, Kansas, what up? KSU, what up? Columbia, Missouri, what up? Selena, what up? Independence, Kansas, what up? Shout out to them Pirates. What up, what up? It's your boy Conserviz 34. Thank you for joining the DMB post-show stream. And this tonight, we actually had a concert. It was not canceled due to a bad roof. And we're so glad that this band was able to perform ahead of what is going to be an epic Deer Creek weekend, regardless of how they play it. We know they play that venue right. Imagine telling somebody in 2019 that ahead of a Deer Creek weekend, the show before an epic Deer Creek weekend, you would have a show where the band would have a guest violin player that actually can play every note without screaming. That you would have a show in Kansas City, in the Kansas City Metro, Riverside, Missouri, that has a boa in the 2 slot, that has a Fool to Think tour debut in the 8 spot, that has a Pay for What You Get, followed by an epic run with that violin player, Jake Rennick Simpson, and a fish tender with violin for the first time since 2016. Imagine telling a DMB fan from 2019, oh, by the way, tomorrow this show, the audio from the soundboard, after being edited and adjusted, will be available on Nugs for you to purchase or for you to stream. I don't think that person would believe you. But this is where we are in the current state of Dave Matthews Band. This is a great place to be. You know, in this Kansas City Metro, they're going to be building a football stadium on the Kansas side of the Metro. And so, you know, the government, Kansas stole the Chiefs, whatever. Cool. Here's the thing, though. That stadium is going to benefit people from Missouri more than it benefits people from Kansas. See, Kansas has to come up with $1.8 billion in sales tax revenue, and otherwise they're going to have to pull from the citizens. Kansas does not have an airport in the metro that can service thousands of fans coming in for a Super Bowl or for Chiefs games. The money from airports will be on the Missouri side. The rental cars for these big games that come up with the Chiefs when this new stadium is done is on the Missouri side. But the point is, Missouri residents don't have to pay for the new stadium, but they can go right across the state line and enjoy it. And they'll still get a lot of tourism from people flying in for concerts and stuff. So the benefit for this new stadium, despite what people are thinking, it's going to benefit the Missouri side more because they don't have to put up any money. This set benefits every type of fan. That's what I love about it. There is no one side is lopsided than the other. Everything that Jake Rennick Simpson played is going to benefit all types of fans, whether you like the hits, whether you like the deep cuts. Everything that Jake played tonight, when you have a violin playing like this for Jake's 4th time this tour, everybody is literally happy. This is the best situation. This hopefully will be one day the typical situation where we have violin every show. No matter who shows up, just have violin every show. But it changes everything. The beginning of this show starts off with a song many people love, Dancing Nancy's. And then you get a boa. But after that, the deep cut lovers get a little bit of a break. I mean, you get Stay or Leave, Spaceman with the man in the middle, Walk Around the Moon, I Did It, Grace Is Gone. Then you finally get to Fool to Think, and then you get When the World Ends and Virginia in the Rain and Sledgehammer. But it doesn't matter. It does not matter whether you liked all those songs or not, or vice versa. The fans who love covers got a Sledgehammer. The fans who love the When the World Ends and the Spacemans, right? They got those songs. And the people who love boas and Pay for What You Get, they get those songs. And so the last couple of weeks, I'll be honest, from West Palm Beach, like after West Palm Beach up until now, there were some shows that just, Did I have any FOMO from Mansfield? No, not at all. But this is a great setup show for Deer Creek weekend. And another thing that's interesting, because shout out to Lauren. Hopefully Lauren is going to go out to Deer Creek this weekend. I think her husband thought she was joking, and they got to figure out logistics last minute. But an odd thing I noticed here is this show, a random show in Kansas on a Wednesday, had some hidden gems into like having a Fool to Think tour debut, having a Pay for What You Get come out. This is the first Pay for What You Get in the Central Time Zone, which is most of the Midwest is in the Central Time Zone. First Pay for What You Get in the Central Time Zone since 2015 when they played it in Des Moines, Iowa. That's right. Pay for What You Get has not hit this part of the Midwest or hit the Midwest at all since 2015, despite having resurgences out east, right? And you may think, oh, that's a random show to do it. But we also have to remember in 2016, a lone shotgun was liberated in Wichita, Kansas, not too far from a little bit of a drive, but still within the region. And so I guess when Dave comes to the Kansas City Metro or to Kansas, you may get something like a Pay for What You Get pulling up for the first time in a while in this part of the country, or a shotgun in 2016 in Wichita, Kansas that nobody saw coming in the middle of the week in a venue that had a lot of casual fans. He played shotgun. And so I love what this band is doing right now. I love the encore. No sister, and I know people have sisters, that's cool, but like the E1 has been kind of hit or miss. And the encore closer, sometimes they've kind of gone a little bit too safe. Like the Boston show or Mansfield show. You look at some of these encore closers, you're like, nah, bleh. But they nailed the E1. Dave nailed the E1. And then the E2, Jake Rennick Simpson on Lion Our Graves. Now, there was supposed to be a PMP ahead of that Lion Our Graves, but it doesn't really matter. The point is, that's a heck of a song to close out with violin, live in the flesh, in person, and Jake Rennick Simpson. So a great show here tonight. What I want to do now, though, is we want to bring on Connor, who was... we talked to him last night with just kind of a disappointing way to have a night where the show is postponed. But tonight there was music, so we want to get his reaction to the show. Let's go ahead and unmute Connor and get him ready to go. Connor, how you doing tonight? Hold on. Oh, okay. Let's start again. Sorry, you were muted. Connor, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I am doing well. What did you think of tonight's show?
I thought tonight's show was unbelievable. I mean, the boys have been on fire all year, like we know this, but for some reason they were so fresh after the break and they played so hard tonight that it really like shattered my expectations. And I don't really go into shows with super high expectations anymore because there's not really much for me to get, like new songs to get. Of course, I got two personal song debuts tonight, but a bunch of other deep cuts. Jake Simpson as a guest. I mean, this band was firing on all cylinders tonight, and it was such a good show.
And so after last night, some fans do roll into Kansas City. Some fans weren't there last night. They come into Kansas City. What was the crowd like before this show?
I mean, the place was pretty packed. I would definitely say it's nothing like a Deer Creek where it's a bunch of hardcore fans there, but there were a lot of people, around us who were very familiar with a lot of the music that the band was playing. And I'm sure a song like Fool to Think or Spaceman, not as many people knew as like 41 or Tripping Billies, but there were a lot of knowledgeable fans in the crowd tonight.
And talking to a couple of people that are diehard fans that typically go to Deer Creek or go to Alpine, there were some Kansas City locals that loved those deep cuts that just for the first time in a long time got a short drive. What was the loudest crowd moment of this show?
Probably Jake's 41 solo, or just 41 in general. I feel like that is the consensus fan favorite Dave Matthews Band song. And plus, we got to hear it with the violin tonight, which upped the crowd level even more.
Definitely. And hopefully we keep getting violin guests coming along with the ride. As some of you guys may know, tomorrow we'll have something very special. You will be able to access on Nugs if all checks out and they get everything edited. You'll be able to listen to this entire show on Nugs at some point tomorrow. What would you say is the first place they should go? What's the first song that a fan like me should listen to from this show just because it was so great live?
Bartender, 100%. First of all, it was really cool getting to hear both Big Eyed Fish and Bartender um played with the violin again, but the bartender itself was just so powerful in so many different ways. The instrumental part where the horns really get in after the Dave wailing part, Jake was just going off on the violin, and they didn't want to stop doing that, and they kept playing that part harder and harder and harder, and I feel like the whole venue as a whole was just sobbing at that moment, and it's moments like that that are just so special and why we continue to go to so many shows. But yeah, without a doubt, Bartender was the song of the night for me.
And interestingly enough, the only other time Big Eyed Fish was played for this tour, Jake Rennick Simpson was there, but he came later on in the set. And so there was a fish tender to start off with the 2 and 3 slots. But this is the first time that fans are hearing Jake play on Big Eyed Fish and Bartender back to back. Hopefully this trend continues because it definitely is something I'll be like you recommended. I'll be going back to this Bartender. I'll check out the Big Eyed Fish just so that I can hear how much different it is to have a violin in the mix in this second half of the song. What was your personal favorite moment of the night here?
I mean, besides Bartender, I want to say I Did It was really good. Getting Fool to Think Again was really good. Pay for What You Get, getting that for my first time was really good. I was kind of freaking out a little bit when they started playing that because that's such a rare one to get and it's a hard one to find. I'm 65 shows in and I've never gotten to Pay for What You Get. I just need 34 now to finish the album, but there were a lot of highlights to this show. Yeah, pretty much everything with Jake was really good. Like you can hear him pluck during Warehouse and Big Eyed Fish. Take All Day, that's another personal debut. It's hard to pinpoint one moment, but Bartender number one, and the rest of the deep cuts will probably be number two. I did just get word that Pantala Nagapampa was cut before Lion or Graves. Shout out my friend AJ's grandma at her first show getting the set list. So that is a viable source, but yeah, Pantala Nagapampa was cut before Lion or Graves.
Yep. So that was the only venture away from the printed set list. Everything else was as is. Solo was in that E1 there. So either way, hey, you'll take Jake Rennick Simpson, I guess, regardless PNP or not. Just having that Lionheart Graves is the big thing right there. As far as the
Yeah.
poster, was there a lot of demand for the poster tonight?
I didn't really know because like there was an outside merch tent and the outside merch tent opened when the venue opened. So I have no idea what the line was. But I personally really liked the poster. Everyone else I spoke to about the print liked it. I did not see if it sold out tonight. I'm not sure if it did, but it is a packed house, and with it being the first show in the Kansas City area in a very long time, I wouldn't be shocked if it sold out.
Yep, and let's just show it up here really quickly. And there's a word bubble there. Take me back. That's in there as well. And so pretty cool reference, obviously, which 9 times out of 10, when there's a reference of a song, it does not happen in the set as tonight. Maybe it'll show up for Deer Creek. We'll have to see if that what happens there. Any other observations, crowd moments, maybe a fight or antsy people or chompers or any other things you observed at the show tonight?
I mean, definitely during the quieter and the more rare songs, the chompers did kind of come out a little bit. The audio, like the sound, was loud enough to where we weren't really bothered by them that much. But I could definitely see, like, in the pit and like in the pavilion, it would have been much more obnoxious. But besides that, I mean, nothing really out of the sorts. It's really hard to get out of the seating area of that venue because the way that it was built, there's like a I'm losing my train of thought here. There's like a courtyard in front of the venue, and then there's two stairwells that go up to the lawn and to the seating area. So everyone was just crammed into those stairwells getting out, and it took longer for us to leave the lawn and get to our car than to leave the parking lot. And also
Wow.
the lawn there is really small. Like it's probably 50 to 100 feet long, like deep, I'll say. Obviously, it takes the whole back of the venue, but very small lawn tonight.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think you went to, when you were doing your goose run, you went to what was that? The Coca-Cola Amphitheater. It's interesting how some of these venues are elevating up lawns and upper levels and making these little pathways in. So uh hopefully they find some ways to get traffic flow better out of in and out of that amphitheater, and hopefully uh these newer venues continue to get shows like this, and markets like Kansas City can get bands that haven't been there for decades back because they have a Live Nation, or for some venues AXS. Some of these newer venues, they have AXS, having some bigger bands coming to town. But Connor, thank you for coming on, and enjoy your time at Deer Creek this weekend.
Thank you for having me as always, and I will chat with you again.
All right, take care. Bye.
Thank you.
All right, so that was Connor F. If you guys want to come on throughout the current run of song tour stops, let me know as well. As many people as possible, I want to get on. If you want to send a video review, if you want to send a written review, DM me, message me, at me, and we'll try to get you on or try to read off what you thought. Let me just go to let's take a look at a couple of things. So there were a lot of let me just check some of the fan comments from Twitter. Okay. So still under the table and dreaming on X says the crowd was whack, sitting down most of the show, 100s and 200s. Was an observation. During Tripping Billies, Dave yelled, "Come on, Jake," which was dope. What else are people saying? I know, is it Essen? Is that, see who else? Okay. My Syracuse athletics fan, frenemy here, Mr. Snyder. He says, "What a show. This was so much fun. Perfect warm up for the Creek. And perfection is what we got. This show rocks." That's what I'm seeing on X. I see someone in the chat says, "No, before these crowded streets." There were a couple, and they were supposed to be before these crowded streets with that P&P. That was the only cut there. Let's see. So we have a couple of albums that were not present for this show, and they've actually been, there's it's not shocking now at this point for an album not to make the list for a show because there's so many albums. But we have a couple of albums that did not make it. Let's go back here. And so before these crowded streets, Away from the World and Stand Up all had no plays. But again, this is just going to be something that happens when you go 4 deep into Under the Table and Dreaming, 3 Crash, 3 Everyday, 3 Busted Stuff. And then you have a couple of other albums making one play. That this is going to happen. And so Only one cover too, which is awesome. Anytime it's one or no covers, I think it's great. Get the Sledgehammer out the way. Boom, that's it. Also, no Jimmy thing, always a good thing in my opinion. At this point, I know some people love that. So, I mean, again, most of the casual fans love it, but I think having a big-eyed fish and a bartender, especially a bartender, be one of the longer form performances, is better than having a Jimmy thing, in my opinion. And I see Michael from St. Louis says Sledge is still gross. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Sledge. I'm a huge Peter Gabriel fan, but I'm not. But it gets the crowd going. As some of the comments said, there's a lot of casual fans. When D&B returns to a market like Kansas City, you're going to get a lot of people that just want to take advantage of the entertainment of a new venue being here. And so Sledgehammer definitely was something they had to do to get the crowd going. What are other people saying? Virginia, and I thought the spaceman, actually, Stay or Leave to Grace Is Gone would have been like I know people like Grace Is Gone. I like what Buddy does at the end of it, but that's kind of a slower part of that would have been like if I would have known, if someone would have told me these are the songs, like I probably would have, that would have been the time where I would have went out to get something at the concession. Even though I don't really go out, I actually stay I stay for the full show nowadays. I get the bathroom out of the way before, and I can enjoy the whole show. And then the other part of it, like When the World Ends all the way to Sledgehammer, When the World Ends, Virginia in the Rain, Sledgehammer, that's a rough run. Although I like Virginia in the Rain, I just think when you pair it with those songs, it's just kind of a down part of the show. But this is like, again, they could have easily played this much more casual. They could have played this much more casual for the market they were playing in, but I'm glad they gave so many gems out tonight. Like they could have they could have did Madman's because Kansas City they haven't experienced the Madman's. They could have did Samurai Cop. They could have did, You and Me, I think was played the last show, but like they could have played a couple of other like meh type songs, but they didn't. So I think overall, this is a great show to lead in. That's pretty much it. I don't think there's any other things as far as the set to talk about. I just think it's an example of the best case scenario for a show before a major 2-night stand, to have some deep cuts, to have some hits, to have some stuff like Spaceman that some people, not every deep cut lover likes Spaceman, but some people have those shirts with the Spaceman lyrics on it and they go, so they get that. Cool. I still don't really see what the song does especially the jam part or like the post lyric part. I'm like, okay, what are they going to play over this? Right. But, people like it. Some people do, some people don't. So let's see. There was looking at guitars here. We have standard tune. We have raised B acoustic. We have the baritone with I Did It. We had 12-string standard, 12-string drop D. Nothing in this set that has the 6-string drop D, like a Don't Drink the Water or a Shake Me Like a Monkey. No electric Strat or no Gibson Les Paul Jr. For this show, as there was no YIM or no like Straight Shot or Samurai Cop, etc. There no soprano guitar tonight. So mostly 6-string standard. You had both the 12-string drop D and 12-string standard, and the raised B baritone guitar as well, baritone electric, that Jerry Jones Barry. Yeah, I may just end this show. I don't really know what else to talk. I mean, looking ahead, you have a Deer Creek weekend. As always, as is tradition, there's concerns about the weather. I do think that you have to take a look at this set and think maybe Pay for What You Get, Fool to Think are two songs that may find their way at Deer Creek Night 2. Especially that Fool to Think. Hopefully, we hope Lauren gets that for Deer Creek Night 2. But I think those are maybe being tested out for that. I wouldn't expect anything from tonight, Deer Creek Night 1, given the trends. Only repeat from the last show, and it's been a little bit of a gap since they've been back on. The last show that they actually physically played without cancellation was June 13th. So that's 11 days ago from this show. And Warehouse is the only repeat. You can't beat that. You really can't beat what they're doing. It's just a matter of hopefully whatever they play the night you go are things that connect with you. That's the challenge. There's some nights it's like, I want variety. Okay, we're not going to repeat anything from the previous show. And you may get some songs that maybe you personally, they're not your favorites. But you can't say they're not mixing up the sets. And they're doing a great job. Another opener, Dancing Nancy, if we go to the slotting of slots, and we go to this here. So we have So Right, Granny, What Would You Say, Why I Am, You Never Know, 41, So Much to Say, I Did It, Typical, Boa, American Baby, Drunken Soldier, Rapunzel, You and Me, Nancy's. This run is incredible. They have not repeated an opener at all throughout this entire tour so far. And other years, that's not the case. They typically by now have had a couple of songs repeated as openers. So that catalog is getting expanded and the slotting is getting unique here. What else? That's pretty much it. I think I'm just going to end it on that, man. We'll have an early show ending. Stay tuned this weekend. I'll be live for both Deer Creek shows. And again, if you want to come on, I want the more context and the more fan reaction I can get, the better. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I got. It's not even 40 minutes into the show and we're about to end it. Miracles do happen. If the Knicks can win a NBA Finals, a championship, I can end the show early. But thank you guys for coming on. Look forward to talking to you guys tomorrow. On Friday and Saturday of this weekend coming up. And that's it. I'm shocked. I can't believe I'm about to end this show. Barring management telling me Dave Matthews wants to come on right now, I'm going to end this show, and I'm going to check my text, and nope, management has not reached out to me. I don't have their number, by the way. I'm just messing around. I don't have management. I don't have Corin on speed dial. Hey, yeah, get Dave on, right? That's all I got. It's your boy Conceviz 34. Have a good night, and we'll close out with, what are we closing out with? Oh, we're going to close out with Walk Around the Moon.
I found a stranger walking in the woods. She was not quite like anyone I knew. Red dress, polka dots, shadows in her hair. She said, you take me and I take you there. Now she's going round and round inside of my head. I think I'm just a little too close to the edge. You took everything from me, and now I'm falling into this never-ending sea. I know have crossed into a dream since I've been flying, so fly. It's blue and it's red, found a new door to open my